Welcome to another episode of Wicked Weird with New England Queenie. I'm New England Queenie. Last week we talked a little bit about what is included in a document known as the Blue Planet Project and the types of beings the government was aware of as of the early 1990s. I'm sure it is no surprise these beings also know about each other, and most races from these planets formed rules and laws on what is acceptable and unacceptable behaviors towards other races. The planet Earth is considered too primitive and violent to be included in this group, but they do keep their eyes on us, and if rumors are to be believed, they have hosted secret space program soldiers as more of a security presence more than anything else, even if they deny our membership. So, who is this mysterious group of beings who seem to be keeping watch on our solar system? Join me now for Wicked Weird Episode 2, The Galactic Federation. Alright, let's get weird. What comes to mind when I say the phrase Galactic Federation? Do you see planets living with all races in unison? How about different aliens governing the galaxy together? Do you think of Star Trek? Maybe Star Wars? Yes, I am aware the phrase Galactic Federation sounds like something right out of a science fiction movie, and is something you probably believe was invented by Lucas or Roddenberry. But what if I told you they didn't invent the idea of this and may have had knowledge of it existing? What if they used that knowledge they were given to create entertainment that would desensitize us from the truth of what is really out there? I've been investigating the rumors of this elite council, and what truth I found is far more interesting than any science fiction movie or television show could create. According to sources, there quite possibly is an extremely large ship right out in our own solar system watching us and waiting for the day our human race is technologically and intellectually advanced enough as a species to join them. This federation is responsible for working together for the greater good of the Milky Way galaxy, as well as many worlds beyond. Remember the scenes in the Star Wars films of the giant room lined with pods filled with representatives from each planet in the Republic? That is pretty much what we're looking at as the best example of what you would see if you were invited. And what would it take for us to join them? Well, aside from no longer fighting each other, we need to recognize our part of the whole in the universe that religious individuals believe is what is called the divine. They know when we fight each other, we are fighting ourselves and the universe. It's probably true we have territorial views because we are essentially apes who can talk and work with technology. Apes are a territorial species, and our innate ability to create war with each other from the smallest disagreements is unfathomable to these extraterrestrials. They have lived in harmony among themselves for eons. We fight over food, religion, money, all things that are creations of man to divide us, when we should be more like our space visitors and take care of each other. These other beings don't have wealthy and poor. They have members of their race, and each one has its own place in their society. More importantly, they are all taken care of. Imagine how much better a world without division, wealth, and religious persecution must be, where they never have to worry about where they will live, how will they pay their bills, how will they afford to feed their families, or being attacked or killed because of their personal religious beliefs. Imagine a place where education and knowledge are the real currency of society. Until we can take care of our own, the Galactic Federation really doesn't want any part of us. I was absolutely floored when I heard about this federation, when Israel's former head of space security and the former Canadian Minister of Defense both stated that not only is there extraterrestrial life, but many are in contact with us on Earth and belong to the Galactic Federation. We are talking about a federation that has been in existence for over 4.5 million years, with beings that can seem unimaginable to even think of. There is a valid reason for keeping this information under wraps, since the governments around the world believe a mass hysteria would break out if this was all publicly confirmed. Now we are finding that this isn't the case at all, and as more information is leaked to the public, the hysteria once feared has not consumed the planet in any way, at least not in any way noticeable. Would you be able to accept the many species and races out there? Let's talk about some of those races in the Galactic Federation. The variety of species seems to follow some similar formula for their physical structure of appearance. The star rule of 5 is the predominant feature in many of the races. Most have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, though that is sometimes all they have in common. What I haven't mentioned is exactly what those heads and bodies look like. There are races as big as 30 or 40 feet tall, and some less than 2 feet tall. To name them all, if we knew them, would keep us up all night. I can only stick with what I can fit in one episode, and what they do with regards to us, as well as their enemies, which we all share. So, what do they look like? There are many human or human-like races in the galaxy, and we are so similar to each other that you could be in a room full of them and not really notice. Out of an estimated 200,000 different councils in the Federation, 40% are humanoid. They may have an unusual eye color, or their skin may be a little more gray or pink, for example, but it would most likely be difficult to pick up on. They can easily blend in with us here on Earth, and often do. You may not notice an Andromedan if you ran into one. They look so much like us, aside from slightly larger eyes, lower ears, that you would easily accept them as being slightly different in some way, not enough to make you do anything other than notice something special about them. They usually have light skin tones, and most often they would be spoken of being typical of a Nordic blonde, but they also have some who have Asian features. Some have been known to have light brown to a darker brown skin tone, much the same as humans. Their heights can be anywhere from 5'7" to almost 7 feet tall. Again, not much different than us. If you ran into an Arcturian, then you might first be shocked by the horse-like heads, and then by their size. These beings are between 7 foot and 8 foot tall. Their ears look sort of like smaller rounded horse ears. This is the race associated with the diving bell shape of crafts you may have heard of. These beings are not found wandering in crowds around our planet like the Andromedans or Nordics may be. They are fascinating for many reasons, though, and I think we would find their abilities to be fantastic. One of which is their ability to manipulate and travel through time. Just think what that would be like. It is thought that they may be using this to change past events on Earth in their attempt to continually assist us in the perpetuation of our planet. Since we are so destructive, it really is a wonder how we haven't blown ourselves up already. Bellatricians are reptilian. They are dino-reptoid hybrids, not to be confused with the Draco, another reptilian race. They are bony and have scales like a reptile, but are bipedal. They have small tails resembling crocodile tails, reaching down to the feet, and nothing but holes in the sides of their heads for ears. Male Bellatricians are 8 foot to 10 foot tall and are shorter than the females, around 8.5 feet to over 10 and a quarter feet tall. Unlike the Draco, this species is known for their diplomatic skills. Centaurians come in human and reptoid races. The human Centaurians closely resemble those humans now found on Earth. The male is very muscular and well proportioned with blonde, brown, black, or red hair. The eyes are slightly Asian in shape or are rounded and are brown, black, blue, green, or hazel in color. In height, males vary from 6 foot to almost 8 feet. Their skin color can be either a very dark brown or slightly tanned white color. The female is also well proportioned, but less muscular, and ranges from about 5 foot 5 inches to almost 7 feet. The reptoid Centaurians make up the other race. This species has a muscular, scaly body. Its skin color is in patches of either green and blue or red and green. The hands are narrower than a human's and contain 6 digits, which end in razor-sharp curved claws. Their eyes are rounded and bulging with a reptoid-like vertical slit and are either bright red or golden in color. There is no tail, but the feet have 5 long toes ending in the same curved claw. Females, at just under 8 feet, are slightly taller than their male counterparts. Centaurians are great at bringing beings together to exist and work harmoniously, and are vital for establishing a peaceful coexistence. They are fantastic strategists and federal liaison counselors. The Formylhotens, from the constellation of Pisces Astronus, are also made up of 2 races, one of which is human, while the other is a smaller group made up of the Dino-Reptoid race, who migrated to that star system from Bellatrix in Orion. The human form of this group resembles the classic Nordic in appearance. The men are muscular and roughly 6 foot tall, while the women are generally 5 foot 6 to just under 6 foot tall. This is a rebel race who originated in the Pleiades and now inhabit the 3rd and 4th planet in their new solar system. The Dino-Reptoid race are physically much like their cousins on Bellatrix and now inhabit the 2nd planet in this solar system. Very scaly and bony, upper head is surrounded by large, bony crest. They have large red or dull yellow eyes, similar to those of Earth reptiles. These eyes are large and set forward just above and to either side of a very small nose. They have thin lips, which run from one side of the head to the other. They have no external ears like a human would have, just a 3-inch circle on either side of the head, just behind the eyes. The skin is scaly like a crocodile's and green, yellow, brown, or red in color. Running up the middle of the back, there's a small bony crest that's connected to a larger crest found on top of the head. The Formylhotens are known for their scientific abilities, comprising a large part of the personnel of the first major science and exploration team sent to Andromeda. Mintakans hail from a star system in Orion's belt. They are also bipedal and look rather frog-like, and their skin is colorful, much like exotic amphibians. Their heads are large and look oversized on their bodies, and their hands and feet are webbed. They really have no neck to speak of. Males are usually between 7 and 8 feet tall, and the females are a little bit larger at 7.5 to 8.5 feet tall. This group's talent lies within their excellent application of psychology and manipulation of the mind. Also in their favor, they are extremely intelligent, with a library of knowledge going back more than 15 million years. This part is interesting. It is said here their spaceship resembles the ones shown in the Spielberg film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which you may or may not know had Dr. J. Allen Hynek from the notorious Project Blue Book as a consultant on the film. The Pegasus constellation has several races within their system. Of those, there are three major types of humanoids. The first type strongly resembles that of the original Sirius B humanoid colonists. The men vary from perfectly formed muscular physiques to childlike bodies and are 6 foot 6 inches to 7 feet 4 inches in height, with blonde to light brown hair and light blue to green colored eyes. The women are full-figured in appearance and roughly just over 6 feet tall to 6 feet 8 inches. Their skin ranges from an extremely pale white skin to a light blue skin. The second humanoid type resembles the first in height and are body types, except for two major differences. Their skin and hair are either light red or dark orange in color, and their eyes are more cat-like in appearance. Their eye color either red or dark blue. This race originally came from some of the more distant stars and the Lyra constellation. The final type is a hybrid creature from the Dinoid and second humanoid race. This hybrid type has a scaly type of skin with more pronounced cat-like eyes that are either red, brown, or pale yellow. The body, legs, and neck are more muscular than a human's. They have a number of thick, vein-like protuberances running their length. Each hand and foot ends in 4 thin, long fingers or toes with a small claw at its end. The males are some 7 to 8 feet tall, and the females are from 6 foot 10 inches to 7 foot 7 inches tall. The Pegasioans are known as innovators, scientists, and diplomats. The star nation of Tau Ceti gives us humanoid and bear-like beings. The bear-like mammaloids are the original inhabitants and permitted a human colony from the constellation of Hercules to settle on their system's fourth planet about 2.4 million years ago. The bear-like mammaloids of Tau Ceti are huge, furry beings with small furry tails and bear-like bodies covered in brown, black, or blonde fur. Their heads are bear-shaped, but with smaller muzzles than our own bears, and their teeth resemble those of a galactic human rather than of an earth bear. The eyes are set forward and, like those of humans, are brown, blue, or black. Ears at the side of the head just above the eyes resemble those of earth bears. They are bipedal and have a higher center of gravity than bears on Earth. There are 2 muscular arms with paw-like hands containing 5 stubby claw-laden fingers. Very muscular legs end with very short feet with 5 stubby toes. They range in a height from 9 feet to 12 feet tall. The galactic humanoids sharing this system closely resemble humans from constellation of Hercules. The major skin colors are brown, copper tone, red, light green, and dark green. Brown-skinned humans have light brown to copper-colored hair, or black to red-orange hair. The eyes range from greens and blues to browns and grays. Males are very well proportioned at 7 feet to 8.5 feet tall. Women range from just over 6.5 feet to almost 8 feet tall. Green-skinned humans have light green to blonde or brown hair with green, hazel, or steel blue eyes, and are the same relative heights as brown-skinned humans. Red-skinned humans have red, orange, or blonde hair with red, brown, or dark blue eyes, and are also the same size as the other two types of humans. These races not only design some of the best advanced ships in the Galaxy's Federation, they also produce some of the best pilots and navigators in the galaxy. There are so many more races of beings in the Galactic Federation, and any number of them are in our own skies at any time. And before you question their existence, stop to think for a moment why former government officials from around the world would risk their reputations and safety, unless it was the truth. They gain nothing except becoming punchlines for those living in fear of reality. Even with new information being released almost daily, the uptick in sightings over recent years, and the findings concerning the Nazca mummies of Peru, there are still people who find the idea of alien beings existing nothing more than a conspiracy. When the members of the Federation work together, they easily can do almost anything. Their excellence in science, diplomacy, time travel, psychokinesis, and various physical attributes, when combined, create a powerful force that could easily control our human population. There are rules and laws, though. They do not directly interfere on our planet unless they are protecting us from the Dracos. The Dracos would love nothing more than to enslave us all and do with us what they will. But lucky for us, the Galactic Federation steps in as a huge deterrent of this. In exchange for their protection, we have an open trade system exchanging technology and supplies. We do have resources to offer them, and if it wasn't for our own draconian behavior, being a member of this federation would only benefit us. We also provide another resource to them that helps them to keep our galaxy peaceful, for the most part. I mentioned earlier a secret space program. This is going to be a topic for a future episode, but for now, I can tell you we are actually a warrior race. We were built to be hardy and strong. What we lack in technological advancement on our own is made up for by having strong, well-trained soldiers. These soldiers are useful to the Federation in keeping away negative beings who only wish to conquer and do harm to other planets within the Federation's protection. If these bloodthirsty beings threaten a planet, the Federation will use our secret space program soldiers to protect them. The human and human-like members of the Federation do come to Earth for scientific purposes as well. The U.S. government is actively in a partnership with extraterrestrials and have been since the 1950s. The agreement doesn't necessarily favor the people of this planet, since part of that agreement allows for genetic experiments on the population of Earth in exchange for technology. If there is one difference in the motives of the aliens and Earth humans, it is that the Earth humans are only interested in power and winning wars with each other, while the aliens are more interested in protecting and scientifically researching us and our planet. The members of the Federation do not have the variety of species on their planet that we do, and that is most likely due to their experiments on our petri dish of a planet. You may recognize physical attributes of alien races being similar to animals on our planet. There is speculation these are primitive versions of these extraterrestrial races, and they may be studying their own evolution from animals and insects to what they are today, which would explain why there are so many different species here, and the fact we find new ones every day. There are rumors the dinosaurs were a failed experiment here by reptilian species trying to evolve a species like their own that was able to live on Earth. Unfortunately, this went wrong, terribly wrong, and at some point, they wiped them all out. The same may be said for giant races and elves or fairies. Could it really be possible these were just other races that were placed here to see if they could survive and thrive on this planet? We want answers. We need to know what our world really is and who we really are. I believe when we are finally invited to join this Galactic Federation, only then will we learn those answers. However, we are still a warrior race, and our instinct is to be combative and fight and conquer. And until we eliminate that from who we are, we will be stuck just like this. Fighting, hating, dying. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of Wicked Weird with New England Queenie. I hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great night and keep it weird. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.